Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a good one. Let's take a look and see who we got hanging out with us today. We have Mr. John Howard. Good morning, John. There you go. It says, morning, everyone. Happy Thursday and trash day. Okay. Must be your trash day today. Darren Birch is in the house. Good morning, Darren. Clyde's here. Good morning, Clyde. Marcelo, good morning. Monroe, good morning. Thomas Graham, good morning. Gary's here. Good morning, Gary. George says, good morning from Southeast Michigan. Bright and sunny, going to be a scorcher. Yeah, Joy. It says we're in for some pretty good little storms, I think. We got the severe stuff going on. I'm hoping it all stays north of me. But it looks like that's where most of it's going to be. But I'm going to get another one sometime today, looks like. And I hope, as you can see, I got something running back there. It's been running almost 13 hours. And it's probably got at least another 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. So I hope power don't go off and mess that up, because I had a heck of a time getting that thing started. I'll have to tell you all about that in a little bit. Steve Gronsky's in the house. Good morning. Another hot one in Mustang. Yeah. Good morning, Landis. Hope you and everybody's doing well. Jesse's here this morning. Good morning, Jesse. Clyde says we need a pickle barrel set around. Yeah. That's the closest thing we're going to get to one, I guess. Troy Pritchard's in the house. Good morning, Troy. Wilson Rubottom, good morning. Appreciate the thumbs up, guys. Lonnie says, my AC quit working. Had a friend check it out. After 45 minutes of testing, it was ants shorting out a switch. Clean them out, and now it works. Well, that's good. Not for the ants, but it's good for you. Gary says, I have thunder in the distance now. Yeah. Wilson says, hot and no rain for over 35 days. Well, we went about 2 or 3 weeks. We had a bunch of rain, then we went about 2 or 3 weeks with no rain, just got awful heat. And now it's like we have the heat and pretty much some kind of pop up something every single day. But anyway, hopefully we'll just get some rain and not any big thunder boomers that's going to knock the power out. I had, speaking of no power, you know how I've been bragging on my little old free calipers, digital calipers. I was out there in the shop yesterday, and I had a pair of dial calipers out there, so I could have used them, but I needed to measure a metric thing, and I thought, what the heck? I'll come get these. So I came in here on my desk and got them. First thing I did was move them, and nothing. And I'm like, oh, come on. And that's why I have never been a fan of digital calipers, because you don't know when they're out until you need them. Of course, I had that spare battery, but I'm thinking, it hadn't been that long they sent these to me. I'd have to go back and look at my Maybe, let me say, before I say that, let me look. Maybe it's been longer than I think, but I don't think it's been that long. Let's see here. That digital caliper video right here. Yeah, I put that video out on April 5th. So it's been what, May, June, July, about three months, maybe 4 if you want to round up. And I've used them a fair bit, but not enough to wear out a battery. So that's why I never like stuff with batteries, because you just never know when they're going to quit, and you got to make sure you have a spare. So I got my spare in there, and it's working fine right now. But now I got to get some more of these silly things just to have on hand. So anyway, yeah. So it's been a little over 3 months, I guess. Let's see. Leo says, good morning, everyone. Have a great day. On my way to something. Okay. Clyde says, I've only had to cut grass once this month, and that was the weeds. I cut my grass, I don't know, several times, I guess. But it's now been probably over a week since I cut it, because when I cut it the last time, we had a couple of days there where it was really hot, and then I thought, here we go. Now I've cut it so short, I'm going to burn it up. But it's good and green, and it could use some cutting. Of course, now it's wet all the time with all the rain we've been getting. So, okay, Larry says, I already had to replace my battery too. So, and that's in these things. Did you get a set of these? I just think that's a little too quick for that battery. I'm sorry. Especially since one of the big selling points, that they wanted me to make sure I mentioned in the video is that it had that auto shut off. And I did test that in the video, and it worked. So, but I'm pretty good about, because I don't like battery stuff. So I'm always worried that the battery's, going to use it up and stuff. So I'm pretty good about, even though I close it like that, and I know in 5 minutes it's going to shut off, I don't wait to let it shut off automatically. I always turn it off and then take one last look at it after I've set it down to make sure I haven't bumped it. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because they've been sitting around, and maybe the battery that came in it, could have been on and off while it's in shipment, getting wiggled around. Who knows? That might be. So we'll see how this second one does. Chinese battery. Well, isn't everything Chinese? I mean, really. I get so frustrated, man. We don't make nothing. We don't make anything anymore. Don't make nothing. Let's see here. I done got behind on comments now. Okay, Leo says, take my son for a nerve burn in his back. Okay. Sean's here. Good morning, Sean. George says 3018 CNC upgrades. Okay, I like your teaser. So what's the status of the next height adjustment? The height adjustment, I believe it or not, I was out there yesterday shooting some more video, and my little height adapter things are on there right now, and they're going to work awesome. But it has also made me, that's something that's running back there, I have decided to make a rev change to this thing. This is the one I was going to use on there. The stock one is like real small. It's like this, and I put 2 inches up above. But I have now done a rev change and decided that I not only need some above, but now that I've raised it up, I need to bring some back down a little bit too. So I've taken these 3 features right here, and I've moved them up a 1/2 inch, and then I brought this down an inch. So in effect, I'm really gaining 1.5 inches down, and I've still got about 1.5 inches up. And when I say down and up, I'm talking above these rails. But that's what gave me such a fit, trying to get that to run. I got the changes I wanted made reasonably quick. And then I think I started about 4 o'clock. I wasn't even going to start. I thought, well, I'll just start it as soon as I get up in the morning because it's going to be running all day. And then I thought, nah, I'll just put it on that quiet one. That's what these things are made to do, is run unattended. So I'll just put it on that quiet one, fire it up, and let it go. That way it'll be done sometime this morning. Well, I kept having trouble. And of course, now that I've added that length, now it's about 7 inches. So it's that much longer. And of course, that work area on those things is not that big. So I started out running it parallel to the y-axis. So the bed would go back and forth like that. It ran a little bit, but it wouldn't stick good, and I'm thinking, all right, it's, I'm getting bigger, and I know those plates, when they put those heaters on the beds, they don't, it's not the same temperature every place. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I need to up the temp a little bit. I tried a few different things. At one point, I was standing there watching it, and I have a vent in my ceiling up here, and of course it's hot out, so the air conditioner's running pretty much nonstop. And I thought, well, maybe it's because this thing, since it's long and it's coming out, that air from that air conditioner's hitting it, and maybe that's affecting it. So I tried about, no kidding, I tried 4 or 5 times on this one. I tried running it parallel to the y-axis. I'd turn it parallel to the x-axis. Then I did it 45. And the one at 45, I let it run for about an hour like that. And then I came back and I shut it off because I want it perfect, and it wasn't perfect. So I kept losing time because, all these times I'm starting it and letting it run 30 minutes or to an hour or so, and then having to start over. So then I thought, all right, let me go put it on the noisy one and do it. So I started putting it on the noisy one over there. Started having the same kind of trouble. Just didn't want to stick in a certain spot. So anyway, I came back and I thought, okay, out of all the tries I've done so far, the one that was closest to working was the one where I had it at a 45-degree angle, kind of diagonal on the bed, which is the way I have that now. But what it was doing is it was pulling up right here and right here where it was touching the bed, curling up. So I got to looking at this one and I thought, well, I did put a very small radius on there. So as it's laying there trying to do that radius, it's got to come up anyway. But now it's maybe because of my air conditioner or who knows what, it just wasn't laying down. So I thought, all right, let me just take those radii off of those 4 spots and try running it again. And I ran it, and whatever it was, 5th, 6th try, whatever, I've done a lost count at that point. It worked, and it's laid it down perfect. And then I felt plenty comfortable of just letting it go overnight. So it's been, like I said, it's been running close to 13 hours now, and looks like it's gonna do okay. So there you go, George. There's your upgrade update. Lonnie says, I use my Harbor Freight calipers at least 3 times a week, and the batteries last about 9 months. Okay. Yeah. I know I was using them a lot, and that's why they're sitting in here on my desk in here. So I was using them a lot when I was, because I was measuring stuff off that 3018, and then I would sketch it out, and then I was drawing it in Design Spark, and then when I'd run my prototypes and stuff, I was checking stuff and you know all that kind of stuff. But I still don't think I used them enough to really, I think the battery should have lasted a little longer than that. But we'll see. Maybe now that the one that I got in there wasn't used at all, it was still in the package when I got it out. So maybe it'll be better. Okay, says, I bought those calipers when you did. Haven't really used them. Tried yesterday, dead battery. Installed spare, measured, then removed the battery. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to leave this spare battery in there and just see how long it was. I need to write down somewhere. Maybe I'll write it on my big calendar over there when I put that battery in. So I can see how long this one lasts. But that, like I said, that's why I've never been a big fan of them. I mean, they're nice. It's nice to be able to have millimeters, at a push of a button and go from inches to millimeters to fractions and zero stuff out and all that. That's all great. But when you go to use them, they don't come on. I can have dial. I got a set of dial calipers. The ones that I have more than one pair, but the one that's out in the garage is probably 30 years old. And they work every time you pick them up. So yeah, that's why I'm a big fan of dial calipers. The problem is my eyes aren't as good. So if I ever go out there and go to measure something, I left my glasses somewhere, I have to stop and go get my glasses. So, but anyway, we'll see. Jesse said, I've only changed my battery twice, had it about 4 years. All right. I can't read veneer because my eyes aren't good enough for that. I can barely read a dial. I can still make out where the dial is, but I never have been good at reading veneer because you got to get the lines to line up. Nah, my eyes aren't good enough for that. Alkaline batteries last longer than the carbon zinc. Well, see, I don't know what these are. I mean, as far as what you're saying, what type. Okay, these are lithium. These are CR2032. And part of the deal with that, when they sent me the email, one thing they wanted me to point out was that a lot of the other digital calipers use that, I think it's LR44 or something like that, which I don't know what the difference is. But they were saying, make sure you point out in your video that it's got a long lasting battery because it uses the CR, what did I say it was, 2032. It doesn't use the LR44 like the other batteries, so that they last much longer. So that was what their selling point was, Make sure you mention that. But yeah, so much for that. But anyway, they're still nice calipers. I mean, I'm sitting here bashing them now, but they're still good. It's just I certainly thought the battery would be at least 6 or 8 months before I needed to change out the first one, but hadn't been that long at all. Mr. Ballard's here this morning. Good morning, Solar Man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are doing well. I really got nothing to talk about, I don't think. I see. Let me look around here. Sometimes I have stuff laying right in front of me that I was going to You'll mention. Oh, I know one thing I could tell you. Me and the Jackster went out. Went outside. You know, he had some business to take care of out there. So we went out there about 15 minutes before we go live here. And I stopped and looked at my, I told you I seeded my first lettuce seeds Monday afternoon. And so here we are, roughly 3 days or so. And they're already starting to sprout. So got to get my light set up and go ahead and get my little Kratky method container filled up, get my nutrient mix and all that. And then that's pretty much it. I've even got I bought a timer to put the lights on. So I won't have to worry about remembering to turn them on or turn them off a certain time. I'll have that set up, programmed where it does that automatically. And then I just sit back and watch it grow. At least that's the plan. Leo says, I leave the box calipers open as when closed, they sometimes turn on and off by themselves when closed. Well, see, that's what I'm thinking. If they ship these things on a slow boat from China with one spare battery in the pack and the other battery already in the thing, and it's made to where, see, it's almost like I wish it didn't automatically come on. To me, that's not a big deal. I would rather be able to have to hit a button to turn them on and know that they are not going to come on and waste the battery until I push that button. But these are made. You can see they're off right now. As soon as I move it, boom, they come on. And it doesn't matter how much you move it. You move it just a hair and they come on. So my guess is coming on that slow boat from China in the package with a battery already in it, this little movement could make it come on. Excuse me. And then, then it takes, in fact, I think when I ran my test, I can't remember where it's at. I did that test somewhere. I don't know if that's it. I was trying to see on that video when I did the test, and it took a little longer than 5 minutes, I think, for it to go automatically shut off. But it was still a reasonable amount of time. But I don't know. You do that a few dozen times, or who knows how many times while it's in shipment. And then, of course, once it gets here, it's being put in an Amazon warehouse, and then it's riding around in an Amazon truck. So it had a lot of movement. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll try to write down when I put that battery in there on yesterday's date, and that way maybe I can keep track how long that second one lasts, because that'll be the real test, how good that one lasts. George says, I love the old tools. The best are manufactured in the USA. There are a few tool reviews testing various brand new. One test also includes the older Craftsman wrench. Dang, if it still didn't outperform, then yeah. Well, back in the day, I don't know about now, but back in the day, you couldn't be a Craftsman tool. I've probably said this before in the coffee session, but I think it was for like my 16th birthday when I was, starting to get my license and getting into cars and stuff. My mom and dad bought me and probably a lot of you guys got the same thing I got it, but it's like that gray toolbox set from Craftsman, and it was, I don't know how many piece set it was, but it had a bunch of screwdrivers. It had a bunch of opening wrenches. Had 3/8. No, it had a quarter drive socket set that had a little gray plastic thing that it went in. Then it had a 3/8 drive and a 1/2 inch drive ratchet with a bunch of sockets. And those all fit in the little tray that set in the top. And then it had like a hacksaw. Oh, I can't even remember all the stuff, but all those tools I still have. I've had them 50 years now. I got them when I'm pretty sure I was probably about 16, maybe longer ago than that. But yeah, so they're 50 years old, and all of them still work too. All of them still work. I think I did have the 3/8 drive ratchet stopped working, and I never even bothered. You know how it is, you could take them back and they'd just give you another one. I never did bother, because in the meantime I'd got added more tools, so I already had other ones of different brands and stuff. But yeah, you can't beat them old Craftsman tools. I have some tools. Let's see, I still got another minute or two. Troy says the 152 piece tool set with 80 Allen. Yeah, it had a bunch of Allen wrenches too. It came in a little plastic thing. What was I going to say? Something about that. Oh, I got a car that I was going to restore one time. It was a 77 Camaro Z28. And I had big dreams that I was going to restore this thing. The problem was I didn't have any money. I had lots of time. I didn't have any money. And then whenever I got the time, whenever I got the money, I didn't have time. So, or vice versa, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, never had the two things together. But I remember when I got the thing and brought it home and set it in the driveway, all I had was the ignition key. I didn't, back in those days, you had two keys. The ignition key was kind of square looking, and then the round one was the one that went in the trunk. That's been a long time since you had to have that kind of stuff. But anyway, I didn't have a trunk key, so obviously the trunk was closed. So I went through the back seat, took the back of the back seat off, and had to reach through there with, I don't know, I rigged up some kind of stick or something so that I could manipulate the latch on the trunk and pop the trunk open. But once I got that open, there was like a little metal box, nothing real fancy. I've still got that little box, but it was really heavy. And of course it was latched and I couldn't get it open either. But when I pried it open, it had all kinds of rusty looking sockets and box end wrenches. And, it's almost like somebody that was a mechanic, because it was those kind of wrenches where they have these weird kind of bends to them, and they're made so you can reach a certain thing on a certain car, the kind of specialty thing. So I don't know, maybe the previous owner had worked for, a place and bought a lot of tools from Snap-on or whatever, but there was some Snap-on stuff in there and all kinds of stuff. So I've still got all of those tools too. I never throw tools away, because they didn't, they don't quit working. They always stay working. Let's see. Jesse says Lowe's doesn't exchange Craftsman tools. Have to call Craftsman. Not the same quality Sears had. Okay, doesn't. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to go. Can you still get Craftsman stuff? I guess you can. I know I've seen it at my hardware store, but in fact, I think my bigger shop vac that I have out in the garage, I think it's a Craftsman, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, all right, that was my bell. I guess we'll get out of here. We done killed a half hour. I will hold my breath probably until this thing gets done, because it's really starting to look dark out there and really calm, which, the calm before the storm. So anyway, we will hopefully that will get done. So anyway, come on back tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Friday, and we will get ready for number 530 tomorrow. And that is, of course, if the Lord's willing and the creek don't rise. So, see y'all. Have a good Thursday.